Hello Team Zug. Now today we're doing a Chuggington fan theory. So this was supposed to be the third episode for Scoop X Muck, but it had to be pushed back because of this fan theory. Now you might be asking, Zug, what is this fan theory? Well, I'm glad you asked, because today I'll be explaining it to you. I'll be explaining the fan theory that is, drumroll please, are Hodge and Zephie more than just best friends? Now, I didn't really have intentions to make this video, but something happened recently. Here's why. Basically, I was scrolling on YouTube, minding my own business, and then I found this. The Facts on Chuggington, episode 10, Facts on Zephie. So, I clicked on it, and I was just scrolling through the comments, and I found this. A friend of mine, Just Trains One. Basically, he has this fan theory that Zephie has a crush on Brewster. To be honest, I didn't find it offensive whatsoever. It was actually a really interesting theory. So, that gave me an idea. What if Hodge and Zephie are more than just best friends? Here's why. So, in order to Hodge and Zephie be more than just best friends, aka a couple, we need to know if they have things in common. And boy oh boy, are there a lot of things in common. So, if you look closely, you do notice that Hodge and Zephie have similar jobs and similar designs. Not brothers and sisters, but you get the idea. These two could carry passengers, but unlike Emery that has to have two coaches like a subway train, they could take like a limited of 5 people, well for Zephie, but for 2 people for Hodge. And that is actually quite something that is pretty good. In the episode Outwit Board Owen, forgive me I spelled that wrong, it reveals that Hodge used to be a trainee with Zephie. However, some people think it's incorrect because Zephie is too young to be a trainee. But if you look closely, these two have the Chuggington logos. That means chuggers that already completed as trainees. So you could consider that Zephie used to be a trainee with Hodge. And I love that theory, so we're keeping it. It looks like it could be right, except for one thing. And that one thing is Brewster. Hello. Oh no. Yes, so now we're at the part we're all dreading. Brewster. Now, I know many people do ship Brewster with Zephie, and that's fine. But unfortunately, I couldn't see any relationship feelings. I mean, sure, Zephie is kind of like the counterpart thing for Rosie. Basically, it's a situation with Thomas and Rosie. I don't know why I'm even saying that right now. But still, these two, I see them like a brother and sister figure. Like Bruce is the older brother and Zephie's the younger one. However, it's supposed to be the opposite because Zephie's older than Brewster. Yeah, remember when I said about Outwit Owen? Well, Zephie is older than Wilson, Brewster, and Coco. So basically, she's like, 16? And Brewster will be like, 12? So that'll be like 4 years. 4 years older. You think that it might be an okay thing? Well, it's not that much theories. I mean, sure we do get characters acting like that. From My Little Pony with the whole situation with Spike and Rarity. But I don't really like that ship. Basically, it doesn't make sense. And plus, an older pony and a younger dragon. And I don't think it's like the unlikely couple, but still, it's basically the same thing. So anyways, let's carry on. So yeah, I don't see any relationship things for Brewster and Zephie. They're like the situation for me and my little sister. Even though that sometimes we argue, but we're technically a little bit brother and sister thing, even though we don't get along that well. However, she does help me with my SML videos, and I appreciate that. So it's basically the same thing. You could argue that Zephie has a crush on Brewster, but if you want to, well, argue about this for like years, then be my guest. So yeah, and I think what episodes in season 6 where Brewster wants to help, but then Hoot is going to fall to his death, and Zephie encourages Brewster and helps him. I think she would do that for any chugger. Plus, Hoot was dangling for his life. Yeah. I don't know what the episode was called, but I'm sorry if that makes everyone confused or anything. But anyways, so if we take Brewster out of the conversation and we replace him with Hodge. So here's my fan theory. I believe Zephie doesn't have a crush on Hodge, and Hodge doesn't have a crush on Zephie. But what if Hodge and Zephie are dating? Then you might be crazy. Zug, are you insane? Well, for my answer for that is kind of. So you guys are like this. What? Hodge and Zephie are dating now? What's next? Vito Tugboat is getting a reboot. Percy is reforming Diesel 10 and they're dating. Dennis is actually doing some hard work. And Rusty is now a female now? Huh. Coincidence, right? But don't worry. The more I talk about this, the more it'll make sense. Now let's talk about Outward Owen, the episode that started this whole theory. Hodge and Zephie are mostly with each other the entire episode. Although Owen is one of my least favorite characters of Chuggington, I do like this episode, but only for the Hodge and Zephie moments. But then you could see a Hodge and Zephie are talking while they're doing their work. And when you think about it, it'll make some sense. Since they used to be trainees together, it's making more sense. And in the same episode, Hodge is staying the night next to Zephie's shed. So this could be a little bit weird, but Hodge sleeps with Eddie. But then I thought something. What if Zephie's letting Hodge stay for the night because they're dating? Now, it is a theory of mine, but it makes sense when you think about it. In Zephie and the Bees, which is an episode about Zephie, they also decide to expand about the more friendship with Hodge and Zephie by sending Zephie to work with Hodge and Eddie, and I love it what they did. But then I noticed something that is quite fishy. Instead of looking at Hodge showing her what to do, Zephie's looking away. You could argue that she's thinking about the sunshine because that's basically what she wants. Or what if she is hiding feelings from Hodge? Now, this is a fan theory of mine, but still, it makes sense. And when Hodge was in trouble, Zephie and Eddie came to Hodge's rescue. You could think you did notice something. Zephie was happy to see Hodge alive, but too happy. I mean, I can't blame her, because her boyfriend nearly got exploded. But anyways, Hodge Can't Win is another fantastic episode. But still, I feel like season 3 is a Hodge and Zephie season. But what do you guys think? But anyways, also, just one more thing I want to talk about. In the exact same episode at the very end, Hodge and Zephie are going to get a closer look at it. At the truck. But I could see they're also a little bit dancing at the same time. Just look at it. It almost looks like they're both gonna dance. And finally we got to my favorite episode of Chuggington, Magnetic Wilson. If you didn't watch this episode, you should watch it and come back. But anyways, so Magnetic Wilson, in my opinion, the best episode from Chuggington. Here's why. So the teens are getting picked up to do this competition that sadly didn't happen. But still, so yeah. But then, you notice something, Hodge and Zephie got paired up together. That is something you don't see every day in Chuggington. Having your two favorite characters teaming up. Or any other show for that matter. But then, I also noticed something. In the bit where my favorite bit of Chuggington, Zephie was worried about Hodge, but then Hodge showed up and they're going to join. This is real friendship, and it shows that Zephie was thrilled to see Hodge. But after that, Hodge and Zephie and the others are screwed up for a while. Now this is something you really got to take credit for. These two are having the time of their lives. But still, and they're having fun while playing tag. I love this episode, but still, and I think it's probably a fan favorite from everyone else as well. And this is the main reason why season 3 is my favorite season from Chuggington. And yeah, so that's basically it. Unfortunately, that's all the evidence we have of this. But the more I talked about it, the more it'll make sense. Hodge and Zephie are the only small Chuggington characters to not receive a motorized playroom version. Yeah, and they both look gorgeous. I do have plans to get them in the future, but we'll see. So, and that's basically the fanfare idea. Now, this is a fanfare of mine, but I thought it was an interesting topic to talk about nonetheless. So, in conclusion, is Rooster Zephie's boyfriend? No, I don't think so. I think Hodge and Zephie are the Romeo and Juliet of Chuggington. Because it all makes sense. This makes sense why Hodge and Zephie stopped doing the work for 5 seconds. Actually, 25 seconds actually. To talk. No other Chug does that sometimes, but it all makes sense. And that's basically it. So yeah, I hope this video would make sense. Now, if you don't ship Hodge and Zephie, that's fine. I'm just giving you some ideas and my own fan theory. I did really like that Jazz Trains one's fan theory that Zephie has a crush on Brewster. That's a good fan theory as well. So, yeah. I did like this fan theory though. So I just basically told you guys my own theory of it. Now, it is a theory, so if you want to check it out, you check it out right now. I'm Team Zug. Peace out. Goodbye.